The following is a Candlepin Stars and Strikes rebroadcast featuring some of our most memorable recent programs. It is Doubles Series Championship time, our first Doubles Championship here on Stars and Strikes Doubles. Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy. Thanks for joining us once again. And this should be a dandy match we got lined up here for our first Series Championship.
Well, we got one team that's won 2 weeks in a row. Another team reputation is very high in the game of Candlepin bowling, so it shapes up to be a real tough match for both teams.
Now, once again, of course, at stake the prize money, but also that spot in the Tri-State Megabucks Doubles Tournament of Champions, which will be at the end of the year. And, of course, even though the team members qualify for the Doubles Championship, the winning team today, that means they're still eligible to come in on singles and try and qualify for that as well.
Absolutely right, and they can get back in the next doubles roll-off and maybe even get paired up again with each other. Who knows? But funnier things have happened. But yes, the qualifier to the Tournament of Champions for the doubles will come from these group of two teams.
All right, let's meet them. First of all, our number 3 seeded team. They've won the last 2 weeks in a row. From Concord, New Hampshire, Don Weatherbee, and his partner from Goffstown, John Maffeo.
Don comes in averaging 116, and his partner John 125.
And, of course, they've won 2 weeks in a row. They rolled a 400 triple 2 weeks ago, and then last week sweated out a close one at the end, winning by 10. And so now they're here and into the finals against our number 1 seeded team, the guys that have been waiting around for this opportunity. And now they will have their chance. From Plastow, New Hampshire, Gary Carrington, and his partner from Acton, Massachusetts, Jack Ray.
Okay, Gary comes in averaging 130, and Jackie Ray 124. Gary's roll-off score was a whopping 692. He's a top seed as far as the roll-off go. And Jack Seed just sneaked in there in the last spot, 10th spot with 627.
All right. Of course, we'll have prize money to talk about, and we'll fill you in on the Doubles Tournament of Champions, too, as we move along. 3 strings of Scotch doubles here on Stars and Strikes Doubles, and we'll get this championship match started right after we take these messages. Don't go away. All right. Once again, here we are at Finals week. Stars and Strikes Doubles. It will be our number 3 seed, Don Weatherbee and John Maffeo, taking on the sitting number 1 seeds, Gary Carrington and Jack Ray. And once again, at stake, $800 in prize money for the winning team, $400 in prize money for the runner-up team, and also, more importantly, the spot in the Doubles Tournament of Champions at the end of the season. So here we go. John Maffeo will get things started. The team of Maffeo and Weatherbee has won 2 weeks in a row.
Well, 4 horsemen left, 1, 2, 4, 7, and the 9-pin piece of wood that should help with the 9. A little squeaking going on up there in the shoes of John. Strange. He's almost like he's starting to drag a heel or something.
A 9 to start. Last week, Maffeo and Weatherbee knocked off Wayne Denon and Steve Plant, 392 to 382. And 2 weeks ago, they beat Pat Pay and Reggie DeLine, 403 to 347. So high scores, averaging right around that 400 mark for this team. 19 to start for John Maffeo. And now Gary Carrington, who finished, as you mentioned, Dan, number 1 in the roll-off with that 692. And that, of course, resulted in his being paired with the number 10 seed, the number 10 finisher, Jack Ray. And then their roll-off scores were combined, and that added up to be the number 1 score.
I was looking at the 1 and the 7 and lots of help in between.
Not there this time.
I thought as long as he hit the head pin, he would have a real good shot at making the 7. Never came close to it. Get a 10 box.
Gary from Plastow, New Hampshire. He and his wife Kathleen have 2 sons, Matthew and Michael. Gary works for AT&T in North Andover and does a lot of his bowling at the Exeter Lanes and at Pilgrim Lanes in Haverhill. Looking to convert this, and he does.
Great shot by Gary. 2-4, 6-10. Piece of wood in between that helps him a little bit, but very nicely done. Spare up in the second. Don Weatherbee up for his first 2 boxes. Championship week. First championship week in the Stars and Strikes doubles format.
Don and John Maffeo put together a 149 closing game last week, and they needed all of it. As Wayne Denon and Steve Plant were putting on the comeback.
Well, Don's got a mess down there. The 4, the 5, the 7, the 8, and the 10, and almost looked like he'd go down at the 5 pin. Hopefully he can clip that wood and get that moving across. That's what he's trying to do. Ah, great effort.
Yep. Got it moving, but just not quite enough to carry the 5 pin.
First look at Jack Ray, and he'll have a spare to fill, put up by his partner, Gary Carrington.
This is something that doesn't come up in singles. Your first time up, and you're working on a mark.
Right.
The first ball is even more important.
6 and 9 left for Jack, 8 fill in the spare.
Jack took a little extra time to think about that one. And it's a 9 box for a 10-pin lead. Jack and his wife Kelly live in Acton, Mass. with their 1.5-year-old daughter Jessica. Jack works at Marjam Supply in Medford. He's the manager there. And he's got the strike as the 5-pin falls.
Strike in the 4th. Let's see a quick replay of that one. It's a matter of time before the 5-pin goes down. Strike in the 4th and a 10-pin early lead for Gary Carrington and Jackie Ray.
Well, looked for a moment that 7-pin was going to kick away, and then it didn't. So it's the 1, 2, 7, and 10. Maybe. Ooh.
Right around the 10. Wow. Can't hit it much better than that without making it.
Maffeo and Weatherbee still looking for that first mark.
And not like the other weeks, they able to mark right away.
Looked like maybe a lot more would happen on that shot, but and it'll be an 8. That brings Gary Carrington working on a strike as he steps up. Gary's been with us on many occasions before, of course, in the Stars and Strikes show in the singles format. as has Jack Ray, for that matter. Two, 8, and 10.
Oh, the way the wood is positioned, well, regardless, he's going to try to play the 2-pin on the left-hand side. Try to jump it across. He did, and went right around the 10-pin and came back, I believe, for the 8. So a 9 fill on the strike.
Pin lead through the first 5 boxes for the team of Carrington and Ray. Our next taping session for Candlepin's, for Stars and Strikes doubles, will be on Tuesday, November 12th. So we'd love for you to join us. Park Place Lanes in Windham on Route 28, near the intersection of Route 111. We're here from about 9:30 in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning, until 4:30 or so in the afternoon. So if you're in the neighborhood, any or all of that time, we'd love to have you stop in and say hello.
20-pin lead for Ray and Carrington. Weatherbee and Maffeo still looking for the first mark.
A little high, but Don gets away with it, and he will have a spare leave on, well, maybe, on the 3-pin. It won't be easy, though.
He'll have a spare leave. Just how easy it's going to be. Well, let's see what the second wood is going to settle down. Just missing it. It's going to shoot right at the pin. If you're a little high, the wood may come off the wall for it, or if you're low enough, you're going to clear it out anyways. But you can't be afraid to come in contact with the wood. Got to give yourself a chance to make the spare. Of course, you can come out high in the nose too, but
after a long study, he's able to convert it.
It was actually high on the wood. Result is what he wanted, spare in the 7th.
First mark for the team, and a big fill, all of them. Second mark for the team.
They come in bunches. There's 2 good boxes by Donnie. He made a tough spare in the 7th and then followed it right back up with a ball dead in the 1-2 pocket for the strike. And right back in the match. Not assuming that they were out of it, but it's a lot closer.
Well, Jack Ray moved that 10-pin, but it did not go over, and so he'll shoot at the 1, 3, and the 10. And he's right on it for the spare.
He matches the mark put up by Don Weatherbee in the 7th.
Jack does most of his bowling at the Crowell Bowl in Stowe, Mass. Jack really turned that one over, and he will fill the spare with a strike.
So he does the same thing Don Weatherbee already had done in the 7th and 8th. Spare and then a strike on it. It was a little slower than Don's, but when he put it up on the board, they look all the same.
Looks like a line drive. Jack's got a big smile on his face as he comes back.
John Maffeo comes right back with like 1 more to fall.
This is on a strike, remember.
6 and 7 left.
Ooh, right in front of the 6-pin.
He decided to get the wood moving, and it did, and actually threw the wood in front of the 6.
104 with a box to come. This is one of those shots that always looks good if it goes. No wood.
He's got it. Oh, right in front of the 9. Looked like he cut it thin so the head pin would come off the wall. It did, but just barely grazed the 9 pin, left it standing.
And a 114 for the team of Weatherbee and Maffeo to begin. So Carrington and Ray certainly will have the lead at the end of one. It's just a question of how far Gary Carrington is able to push that lead. This is on a strike. Playing it inside and leaves the 8 pin.
And back up to maintaining that 20 pin advantage they had earlier.
$20 right now, and a chance to increase it with another mark. As always, want to acknowledge the folks at Tri-State Megabucks, presenting sponsors of both Stars and Strikes doubles and Candlepin Stars and Strikes. We've enjoyed the association, now in its 4th year.
2-4-6 for Gary Carrington.
You're back this week, so I assume you didn't win last week.
That's correct.
132 for Carrington and Ray, an 18-pin lead after one. Middle game upcoming. Don't go away. Middle game here on Stars and Strikes Doubles Championship Week. The winners to qualify for our Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions, and Jack Ray will start it off for the team of Carrington and Ray. They lead by 18 after one. The 1, the 2, and the 7.
Flush on the head pin. Drives it straight back. Leaves 2 and the 7. Jack's ball, he really turns it over. Ball wants to break from right to left. And still watch, I mentioned that on the regular Stars and Strikes show, the amount of lane dressing on the lanes. The ball will slide a lot more. You got to change your angle. See, that ball just hung out to the right. Never gave it a chance to break back to the left.
Oh, and everything but the head pin, and now he kicks that out too.
Wow.
Missed the head pin and made the spare.
They blew those other 8 pins out, and then look, the wood just settled up on the edge of the plate, came rolling back, knock out the head pin.
Don Weatherbee.
Not a bad lead considering. 1, 3, 8, 9, 10. A couple pieces of wood in there to help. Very nice
spare. Third mark for the team. Good way to start the game. Eight fill.
3 and the 6 left. Oh boy. You know, I was just about to say, you got to concentrate on a shot like this, concentrate on your object pin, the 3 pin, because wood behind it would snap forward. Wrong. He concentrated on the 3 pin, and unfortunately, just drove everything, the 3 pin and the wood straight back, and it never came back around for him. So I heard Donnie say, I thought I had it locked up. I thought so too.
Gary Carrington on the spare left by his partner, fills it with 7. But now what will this wood do?
Joe's going to take a look.
Looks like it should be in play.
Yeah.
It looks like part of that pin is sitting over the plate.
Well, Joe's a rookie, so couple of these times he's going to say, I'm not getting out of this chair. I know that's good.
Oh, nice shot. Fine shot with an obstructing piece of wood in front. Actually use the wood instead of going for the object pin.
Like a little cue shot right on the end of the wood, and it was enough. It was straight on, so the ball just kept going straight back. 2 in a row.
Gary threw his hands up. He was afraid of what was going to happen on that ball. As soon as he let it go, it slipped off to the right. Oh, but great conversion for the spare.
3 in a row.
2 fine shots by Gary Carrington for spares.
You see the replay, the 7-pin, last one to go. And made 2 great shots, as Doug said, the 3rd and 4th boxes.
John with a 9-drop.
And the 2-pin. No, doesn't want to cap it. Watch out. Covers it. Spare in the 3rd.
4th mark for the team.
Light hit. 8-pin drop. 6-9 left. Trying to make it 2 in a row. And 3 out of 4 boxes marks.
More importantly, to prevent Carrington and Ray from getting away any farther, but missing it.
Same situation as Don Weatherbee up there. Hit the object pin and punched out right, just the front pin.
55 through 4 for Weatherbee and Maffeo. They trail Carrington and Ray, who will be working on a spare when we return on Stars and Strikes Doubles. Working on a spare, Jack Ray. The team has 3 marks in a row. Jack will have to work a little bit to make it 4.
And again, Jack leaves the ball far to the right. And I can't help but think that the lane conditions are affecting the roll of his ball right now. Turn that one over even more. Got it to break a little bit. You either change your angle and shoot directly at the pins, or slow your ball down a little bit, give it time to grab the lane and break. Make it a 9.
Turned that one over and got it over on the Brooklyn side. The 3, the 6, and the 7 with wood.
He splits, tries to split the 3-pin. The angle of the wood should send that 3-pin over towards the 7. It's heavy on the 3. So 2 open frames for John Maffeo to work on. Well, I should say Don Weatherbee. It's his turn up.
Don is from Concord, New Hampshire, and big strike in the 5th.
Well, they keep hanging around. The lead is 16 pins. Here's the replay of that strike. Don's ball is relatively straight. It may even back up just a little bit from left to right, but primarily straight. He's got the 1, 3, 6, and the 9-pin in the back. It slid a little bit off its spot.
Don works at Boutwell's Bowling Center in Concord. He was complaining to me earlier about how tough his boss is. He's really a pain in the neck.
He must be my partner, Steve.
Well, had Don been able to convert that for a spare, they might have had a chance to take the lead in the match. But instead, Ray and Carrington still lead by 6 as we move to the 7th.
You go back and analyze this game. There's 2 marks, the 2nd and the 4th frames for Weatherbee and Maffeo, that they hit the object pin on a 2-pinner and chopped out the front. You go on the other side of the ledger that Gary Carrington has picked up, got 3 on a spare and picked it up. And the one before that was a great shot too. So both shots. Oh, there's another one. That one went quick. We were just talking about the 4 horsemen and the extra pin.
It almost looked like it was going to slide by, but he just caught the head pin, just catching it.
And then it seemed the ball deflected even more off the 2 pin to get the 9. Just when you think you got this game figured out.
Big 9 drop for Gary.
And nothing will surprise you. Something always seems to surprise you. 8 pin for Gary. Piece of wood out in front. He'll probably try to get by it. If he doesn't, it should snap off the left sidewall into the pin. But I'm sure he'll be trying to get by it. And he does, right on the bunny.
John Maffeo now. Knows that his opponent has put up 2 marks, and he'll shoot at the 4 horsemen. And there was just that much difference. He just went maybe a 1/4 of an inch farther to the left and missed the head pin.
Now that jumps the lead back up to 15 and threatening to go higher. Mark already posted on the board by Carrington and Ray in the 8th.
All 4 of these bowlers will be receiving a plaque from the N&R Trophy Company of Winchendon in commemoration of their appearance here on Stars and Strikes doubles, and $400 to the losing team, $800 to the winning team, and there's a spare for John Maffeo in the 8th. The 6th mark for the team. The team of Carrington and Ray has 9 marks already.
Well, let's see if Jack can make the adjustment. He's been missing the head pin to the right. Oh,
not that time.
No. Can't keep him in check all day long, that's for sure. So again, they kind of string them together. This time, Brooklyn side. See that ball spinning? And that one did break a little bit to the left, caught the pocket, and the result was a strike.
There it is again. Oh,
that time didn't break quite enough to get in the Brooklyn side, and right through the middle, 1, 5, and 9. So grab as many as he can with this ball. Whoa, look at that.
Not too shabby. So it'll be another game in the 130s for Ray and Carrington, a 139 to be exact, for a 2-string total of 271. And Don Weatherbee steps up.
Trying to keep pace. That means you'd have to put at least 1 more mark up.
Oh, he's on the pocket, leaving the 5 and the 8. That was on a spare.
Well, he's thinking 5 pin here, and he said, if I chop the front one out again, well, so be it, but got to give myself a chance to make the mark. Oh, he's far to the right.
Oh, how about that?
Oh.
Well, what do they say about sometimes it's better to be lucky than good?
Well, he wasn't going to chop the front pin out this time. Stick around, ball. There it is. Well, let's see, that could be a big mark. Certainly was. There's 9 more pins. Well, sign of the good bowler. Get a break, try to cash in on it. He's right on it again.
Oh, and this is going to tighten this thing up considerably, as that's 141 plus a ball now for Don Weatherbee.
And it's been a game of streaks. You can see 3 marks in a row, the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th by Carrington and Ray, and again the 7th, 8th, and 9th. Every other box for the first part of this game from Maffeo and Weatherbee, and now they've strung 3 in a row at the end. And let's see. They're still going.
7 fill for a 148 and a 2-string total 262. So just 9 pins the difference in favor of Carrington and Ray with 1 game to go, and we'll settle it here on Stars and Strikes doubles in a minute. One game to go.
And there were 10 frames remaining.
Maffeo and Weatherbee head trail by 18 after one, so they cut the lead in half in that middle game. And there is a big 9-drop, leaving the 4-pin.
Well, it's going to have a nice little guide here. Or is it going to be a roadblock?
Guideline.
Is that an echo? He doesn't need it. He covers the 4-pin all by itself, but sometimes it's like a little crutch there for you, knowing if you miss it to the right a little bit, you're still going to make the shot.
Good pocket hit, another 9-drop, and another 4-pin.
And this time there will be a roadblock. No, take that back. Sliding out of the way, so 2 testy single pins for John Maffeo. He's made one in the first frame and looking at the same pin now. This time to the left.
Looks like whichever team wins this thing is going to put up a pretty respectable 3-string total as we look ahead toward the Tournament of Champions. And of course, the 3-string total will determine the seedings later on. Right on the head pin, and boy, it looked for a moment like he might have a nasty split, but he certainly deserved a better hit.
Let's take a look and see what pins he's going to be left with. Right there, it looks like the 6 and the 8.
That was the 11th mark for the team.
Hey, kid, all right, here it is.
Would turn nice for him. He's got the 3-pin, the 4 and the 7. The wood may be a little high, though. Let's see what happens if he can clear the 7-pin with it. No problem. Spare on strike. So they've increased their lead by 1 more. It's up to 10, but they have a mark in the second.
Not matching, Jack, right?
There you go. Ball got away from Donnie to the right.
And that one to the left.
He's got some work to do now. Still looking at 6 pins, 3rd ball.
And it's a 6-box. Better results that time. It'll be the 3 and the 10. The wood should be favorable.
You would think so.
It is. Spare in the 4th.
Good recovery after the 6th frame. Big ball for Jack Ray. Can increase that lead now. And of course, he's opposite a 6th frame as well. Increase it by 4. However, he's got possibilities here because the wood slid right in between the 3 and the 5, and it's a nice angle pointing toward the 4 and 7. So let's see if he can run down the 3, 6, and 10.
Yep.
Looked a lot worse than it was. It pushes the lead back up to 18. There's the replay. It's right smack on the 3-pin, pushed everything back, and the wood toward the 4 and the 7.
On the spare, a fill of 7. The lead is now 25. Opposite a mark, though, here in the 4th. Joe's going to take a look at that, and it rolls off. And all the way down there, and no.
The right idea. Got to be heavy on the 3-pin for the 3, 5, and 9. Unfortunately, they didn't carry the 5. A little lighter, he might have left the 9 pin. Tough shot.
We'll take a break. 6 frames to go in our championship match. Stars and Strikes doubles. Carrington and Ray have the lead. Weatherbee and Maffeo will be working on a spare when we return. John Maffeo is working on a spare left by his partner Don Weatherbee in the 4th. And they could use a big fill. Not this time.
Someone in the background say that hurt. And that's an understatement. He's going to get a chance opposite an open frame. Oh, nice out.
Very nice 10 bucks.
I wanted to stand up, though. I was fighting John all the way. Let's see the replay on that. Watch this pin. It just doesn't want to go down. Whoops. Get down there. That's better.
Off target again, this time to the left.
Same leave, but the opposite side. And it's not the time that we want to lose the head pin. And off target again to the right. So Weatherbee and Maffeo are going to have to regroup here. And hope that Gary Carrington doesn't put up a couple marks.
7 bucks. The lead is 22, as you see, and working against the open frames, it could be more before Gary Carrington is through. Well, again, the wood sliding up in front of the object pin for Gary. He's got the 2 and the 4. And he's got the spare. That's the 14th mark for the team already. And they seem guaranteed at this point to be over 400.
And this will all add to their lead, this fill and this spare. Oh boy.
Ooh.
There's 10 more. Actually 13 plus because he's opposite of 7. So that pushes the lead up to 35 and puts Weatherbee and Maffeo into some strike situation here. Or at least marks. Can't afford to have any opens.
And a half Worcester.
All of a sudden, both John Maffeo and Donnie Weatherbee missing the head pin with the first ball, which they haven't done the last 2 weeks and most of today.
The final roll-off for this double series was held at Bowling Acres in Peterborough. Had a chance to speak with Greg Ardine, I believe that's how it's pronounced, the manager out in Peterborough. A lot of fans of Stars and Strikes out in the Peterborough area. A lot of them turned up for the roll-off, we understand. There's a big crowd for the final roll-off that weekend.
All right, Jackson, time to post the score. Come on. Come on, Jack. We got a double in your leg, huh?
Jack Ray now stepping up on a strike.
Well, the victory is just about assured. Now it's just a matter of putting a real big total up, because remember, the winning score in the championship match determines your seeding in the Tournament of Champions. So very important.
Well, this fill is on a strike, so Jack doesn't get hurt too much by that first ball, especially if he converts it for a spare.
He's got to hurry.
Oh, coming back.
Well, we always have a little saying that you got to be able to read the greens, and that's exactly what happened in this case. Missed the object pin, kicked the wood around, and finally clipped the 2-pin into the head pin. And
without the wood, he misses everything, basically. But instead, it's a spare with an 8 fill.
$9-10. And I think Jack, the way he's been playing the shots, he'll take all this wood.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. 4 in a row.
They're already over 400. Actually, that spare makes it exactly 400, so whatever they get from now on will be added to their total, and it should be a good one. John Maffeo now for his final 2. All of a sudden, they just cooled off in that third game, Maffeo and Weatherbee. They had a 148 middle string, but not much happening in this third game.
Make it 90 through 9. And kind of a disappointing last game, but boy, if you look back in the last couple weeks in the first 2 games this week, the team of Donnie Weatherbee and John Maffeo have balled extremely well. Just all of a sudden, this last game, this last few boxes, the last half of this game, they just lost the headpin complete with the first ball.
By far, really the only bad string they've had in 3 weeks.
Absolutely right.
Came at a bad time and against a very good team. 99 for a 361 for Weatherbee and Maffeo. As we mentioned, Carrington and Ray already at 400, and Gary Carrington will be able to
rear back and let fly.
Just to get that
Can swing for the fences.
3-string total up there. Watch out. The 5 and the 7. Now it just depends on what the wood will do. The way things have been going for them, it'll probably just line up and nestle right over there. We'll see. No, not this time.
Oh, you might have to make one, babe.
Well, he's got the angle on the wood. He goes low on the wood. Just may clip the 5-pin and have the ball carry through. Just like that.
Again, it was the ball, though, that took out the other pin. He's getting a lot of abuse from the people in the back.
147 and another ball to come. It's gone.
Yep.
It's gone.
Strike on spare. That's 6 marks in a row for the team. And this is going to be one heck of a score to beat.
Say that again. It's already at 167 with 2 more balls to come.
438.
That's an amazing score in a singles match, but in the doubles, it's just incredible.
Double. Work down there. Oh, push it further up. Just slice it over.
This is the 2, 4, 6, and that's the capper. Carrington and Ray finish with 7 marks in a row, a 177 and a big 448 3-string total. Well, they can let everybody else shoot at that now, I suppose, for a while. Stars and Strikes doubles. We have our first champions of the season, and we'll be back to talk with them, all the bowlers, in fact, in just a minute. And welcome back to Stars and Strikes Doubles. We have our first pair of champions into the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. That'll be coming up in the spring, of course, and not a bad score to boot for our other teams to shoot at throughout the season. Let's present our runner-up checks first of all. A round of applause for Don Weatherbee and John Maffeo, who won 2 matches and just couldn't quite make it number 3. But it's a long run to try and get 3 in a row, especially when you got a team like these guys.
It sure is, and they went like crazy the last game. Could have given them all the credit. We hung close, but you can't beat that.
Well, that really also, what we were talking, John, during the show, is really the only bad string you guys had in the whole 3 weeks you were here.
Well, you got to hit the head pin a little bit more consistently, but they're an excellent team no matter where they're going to be anyway.
Well, of course, the bad news is you settle for second place money, splitting $400, but the good news is you can come back and try it again here in doubles and, of course, in singles also. So perhaps we'll be seeing you back again before the year is over.
Hope to be back.
All right.
Always
Thanks.
come back.
Thanks, guys, very much. Appreciate it. Congratulations. Don Weatherbee and John Maffeo. And now our champions. Come on up, guys. Jack Ray and Gary Carrington. Just an outstanding 3-string total. Jack Ray and Gary Carrington, the $800 first prize money. And, boy, that's not a bad score to put up there here in the first series of the year.
Well, we're saying, we didn't even know about when we came in that there was a ladder series at the end, or you go for the finals and say, hey, if you're going to win this, you might as well go big, and hey, that's what we just did.
Maybe that was better that you didn't know. You were able to go up there. Now, Gary, you went up for those last two, and obviously you knew you had already won. You're looking for the highest score you can get, obviously, to try and post a score. Does that change your approach at all up there, or just step up and fire?
Well, you get the free will. We had the match put away by then, and you get the free will. It's less nervous, It's more when it's tight, you get nervous. When you're just throwing a score, you just go up there and do your best you can.
And it seems kind of strange because the match really was a lot closer than the final score indicated. They really pressed you until the end.
Oh, they kept on coming back. They started out the first 4 or 5 blocks without any marks, and we really couldn't capitalize at first. But the match was close after 2 strings, and they just didn't get the breaks in the last game.
Well, now we just wait to see. We'll see you guys in the spring on the doubles tournament of champions, and perhaps in singles as well, because you're still eligible for that. In the meantime, congratulations on a great triple, and we'll see you in the spring for the tournament. Thanks very much, guys. Jack Ray and Gary Carrington.
By the way, we love you, Ty.
Oh, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Dan Murphy, come on in, and we're going to get Dan one of these ties too. I think we're going to take up a collection and try and get one of him. Get into the swing here.
I don't really care for it, but
Oh,
it's all right.
okay.
Did Gary say he got nervous?
Well, it was tight. There was a close match till the last 4 or 5 boxes.
I haven't watched Gary bowl for years, and never looks like he's nervous. Anything but. But that was a great match and a great score to put up. It's going to be hard to beat that score.
448, the opening score put up in our Tri-State Megabucks Doubles Tournament of Champions, which, of course, will be coming up in the spring. Well, next Sunday, of course, at 12 noon, we'll start it all over again. We'll have a brand new series on both Candlepin Stars and Strikes and here on Stars and Strikes Doubles, and we hope you'll join us then. Until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole crew, see you later, everybody, from Park Place Lanes.